Namaskar, everyone. Welcome to Sunday. I've been asking you to be aware of the power of the mind. The mind is the most potent part of you. And I've been asking you to protect the mind. Because if the mind goes into negative thinking, it can bring ruin to your vitality, to your well-being. Negative thoughts just slowly deplete your energies at every level: mental, emotional, vital, physical. And mental patterns are very destructive, like, I'm sick, I don't know when I'm going to get better. I'm a victim, I'm so poor, destitute. I'm so lonely and sad. When you have everything in the world within your consciousness, you're declaring that you're poor, helpless, suffering, a victim. So that mind needs to be protected. And I told you how the space around you in this yuga, this cosmic time period, is full of rajas and tamas. Tamas is ignorance, and rajas is ego. Notice it in this space. In every space. So then you need to put on your protective armor. How do you do that? I give you mantra. I give you the meditation practice of staying centered in the witness, in the observation of the space. I've spoken to you about spiritual discipline. You cannot be strong without discipline. Notice how every good musician or soldier or any person developing skills, they need discipline to maintain that. Even if you want a strong body, you need to be disciplined. But all of this can't happen unless you have the awareness to see, and I've said that to you before. So the seeing is so important that I want to focus on that today, how important it is to observe and to come into multi-dimensional awareness. You know how the iceberg is, right? You see this little piece of ice on top, but you don't know what is below. But when you explore below, you see a big piece of ice below and a little piece on top. Within your consciousness is so much. It's everything you could dream or want within your own consciousness. The root of all success, the root of all strength, the root of all love, the root of all wisdom, the root of all vitality. Inexhaustible, inexhaustible. But how many of you dare to observe the inner space? Explore the inner space, become so curious that you want to know what is behind the mind, because there is definitely something behind my mind. There is definitely something behind my emotional being. How many of you dare to explore that? We are so distracted by the world around us, so caught up in the world around us, that we stay in that ignorance of all that we are. I dared myself to be different. When everybody was heading into academia, I moved to India, searching the ashrams of India for wisdom, for strength, for discipline, for awareness. And as the divine would have it, I fulfilled that longing and need within me before I got back into academia and before I got back into the secular world very powerfully. And I wanted to test myself. If this spirituality is worth anything, if my consciousness is worth anything in its expanded form, I should be able to live successfully everywhere, anywhere. And that's what I did. I mastered the secular world, and then I started to work on Blue Star. But where was the secret? The inner space. Understanding the inner space. Tapping into the energies of the inner space. Today we are looking for this 0-point field where we can tap into energies continuously. And that will happen one day. We'll find that, so we won't have to burn coal and petroleum products to destroy the atmosphere. We'll begin to understand the power of magnetism like Tesla did. And free energy like lightning, like nature would have it. And today there are discoveries about this 0-point field and the free energy. But you know what happens in this kind of a world that is highly commercial? They destroy it very quickly. So you can't get access to it. But one day we will. One day we will. You look at what we have done destructively with our ignorance. We put food for you, but it has pesticide, glyphosate. It's highly processed, fiber is gone, vitamins are gone. And then they add a few things. No. The food from nature is perfect. It's well balanced. Look at what we have done with it, just to increase shelf life and to make money. Look at what we have done with pharmaceuticals. Nature has the best pharmacy. But look at what we have done. Look at all the pharmacies. They isolate things and sell it for you. Of course, in a crisis, we need that. But the perfect remedy is in nature. If only you understand the secret to plants, to all medicinal plants. We are yet to grow. And that requires an expansion of consciousness. Are you going to be one of those light bearers who want to expand your consciousness and help the planet? Or are you going to go down the road that everybody goes? Or are you going to stay on the road less traveled, making a difference to the world? Are you going to go down the destructive path? Or are you going to go down the path of a higher consciousness? I did, and I'm staying in that road less traveled. Doesn't matter who says what. I believe in what I have seen, I believe in what I know, and I'm driven by that power to make this world a better place. Even if this hall is not filled in a moment, I stay with the discipline. Because I have seen, I know, nobody can convince me otherwise. I've seen that place that we're all going to. I know it. I live in it. And I understand the different dimensions of existence. I understand what is below the iceberg. I already know where souls go when they leave the body. I already know that. And so can you, because the wisdom is within you. There is no death to the soul. The Mahamrityunjaya mantra declares it. And it says, Mahamritat, don't withhold from me that immortal consciousness. It belongs to me. The prayer forcefully says, Mahamritat, means don't take it away from me. Don't withhold it from me. Don't keep it away from me. Mahamritat. So it requires expansion of consciousness. And that's why I stay with you until your own fire begins. I try to kindle a flame within you of energy. And I stay with you so that we can kindle this together and we can create this fire that will influence every space that we are in. And I try to do it so powerfully with you that when you go out there, you feel stronger, not weaker. Your knees don't buckle when you are challenged. No, you feel stronger, you're buffered. That's what I try to create with you. And notice how many people in this hall today. But where there is money, there is food, there's recognition, they're there. Let's strive to wake up the sleeping power within us. Let's strive to be strong. When we learn things, let's learn to use it. Don't keep the books in the library and polish them. Live them. Live the knowledge in those books. I have many books in my library, and I know what they have in them. I love them, but I live them. I live them. Knowledge must become wisdom. It must become a lived experience. It should not stay there. I look at them, but I already know what's in them. And I keep them there because I'm grateful that those books exist. And I feel gratitude to the writers. But I live them. I know them. I live them every day. One of the things I learned about prayer is that you don't pray at a certain hour and that's it. No, prayer should be in every moment. I live my prayer. And my life is a life of service. I wouldn't have it otherwise. My joy is in serving others. And that will ever be so. My greatest joy is in serving others. If you know me well, you'll see how extremely charitable I am, extremely giving, extremely loving and caring. Even when I'm a little bit harsh with you sometimes, stern, I'm deeply loving in it. Just trying to help you to become better. So how does this expansion and awakening happen? Association with those who are evolved. How much association do you have with those who are evolved, those who are better than you, not worse than you? Associate with those who are evolved. That's the whole tradition of Guru Parampara, the tradition of Guru. You look for those who you can learn from, and you learn to become like them, not to just praise them. Become like them. Become like them. You know what the Christ said? Be perfect even as your Father in heaven is perfect. Do you know what a Hindu tradition says? Shivoham. That I am Shiva. I'm like Shiva. Aham Brahmasmi. I and Brahman are one. I am God. God and I are one. The same message. We need to live it. Not just worship the Shiva and the Krishna and the Allah. Live it. Live the teachings. Live the wisdom. Become it. So that's what I would like to impress upon you. And when your flame is just a little, protect it. Protect it. With discipline. With continued patterning that is positive. Protect yourself. It's a dark yuga. And don't allow your body to deteriorate so much so that you have so much life in you, soul power, but your body is deteriorating. What sense does it make? Use your soul wisdom to energize your body, and you can. You can use thought power, emotional power, breathing power, exercise power to maintain life in this body until you finish your purpose. The best thing any human being could say, I'm ready to go. I've fulfilled my purpose. You're not going to stay in this world forever. Which one of you is going to stay in this world forever? Have you seen people who are 120 years old? All wrinkled up. Do you want to be that? they're living 120 or 130, gosh, it's just skeleton. Totally wrinkled. What joy is there in that? No. Hindu wisdom say, may you live for 100 years. And I've seen some beautiful centenarians. Yeah, may we live to 100 years and fulfill our purpose doing so. So I hope that I would have inspired you this morning. And I hope that I would have inspired you for life. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening to me. When you listen to me, you give me more power to speak. And I appreciate that. Have a blessed day, everyone. Have a blessed Sunday. Namaskar.